Hey guys, before we get started, we want to tell you about our champion partners, including our Hall of Fame partners, Gregg Vet Clinic, Hicks Chicks, Syrah Technologies, Kenny Chesney's Blue Chair Bay Rum, J&J Flooring and Natural Stone, Concordia Bank and Trust, and Mart. So go visit all of our champion partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them and tell them Miss Lou Champion sent you. Enjoy the show. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. And I've got Brittany Caldwell in the studio today. How are you?
Doing well. How are you? Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day. You have your green's a little brighter than mine, but
you've got the socks.
I got the socks.
You've got the socks.
That's right. Well, thank you for coming today. Mr. Melton King is on the Co-Lin board, and he's also my neighbor. He was in our store at Mile 363 a few days ago, or last week, and he was really excited about what we're going to talk today about is the follow the Frenchman through Natchez through NLCC.
Yes.
And he asked me to reach out to you, so I did, and we connected, and here we are, and I'm interested to learn a little bit about it. It seems like something that's really cool and really unique. Before we get into the actual, the follow the Frenchman through Natchez, let's talk about the NLCC in general. What does that mean? What is that?
Yeah, so the NLCC is the Natchez Literary and Cinema Celebration. It has existed for over 30 years. It was started by the wonderful Carolyn Vance Smith in partnership with Co-Lin, Copiah Lincoln Community College here in Natchez.
One of our partners
on
the show. That's right.
She's fantastic. she is something. She is really just an incredible lady. So she started this as kind of her baby a few years back. And it's kind of grown and grown and grown to the point where it is today. It is a nationally known literary conference that really makes a big splash in a lot of academic circles. Okay.
30-something years.
Yep, 36. This is our 36th one.
36 years, wow. So what are we here to talk today about?
Yeah, so this year the NLCC is partnering with the Sons of the American Revolution to bring to you Follow the Frenchman Through Natchez, the farewell tour of the Marquis de Lafayette, a bicentennial salute. So we are celebrating the 200-year anniversary of the farewell tour of the Marquis de Lafayette.
Okay. So this is March 27th through the 29th.
Yep.
I'm looking. It looks like a very detailed. Let's talk a little bit.
There's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Let's talk about the. So we're following this Lafayette through.
Yes.
Through Natchez. That's what it's a whole experience, like following him as he goes through Natchez.
Yeah, so the Marquis de Lafayette, a lot of people, he's kind of an often overlooked founding father, I feel like.
Okay.
We have statues to him, towns named after him, parks named after him, streets, and a lot of people only know the name from the Broadway musical Hamilton. I know that I did, at least when I started this job. I was like, well, I know him from Hamilton and from Lafayette, which is down the road from us.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not sure what else, but he was actually this really incredible person. At 18 years old, he found himself very much just, what is the word I'm looking for? He really, really, really loved the American ideals of freedom and liberty for all, resonating. There we go. Resonating with those ideals of freedom and liberty for all, so much so that he decided he wanted to come to America and fight in the Continental Army. So he set sail. Actually, he's a French nobleman. He was very well off, very high up in the nobility there in Paris. And against the wishes of both his family and the King of France, he bought a ship and went to America and met with George Washington. And at the time, the French were buying there were a lot of French young men who were wanting to come and fight for the Continental Army, and they would purchase commissions. And George Washington was really sick of them, getting these young, Frenchmen that, oh, you're supposed to be a colonel, you're supposed to be a general, and you have no experience quit sending me these people, pretty much, to the French ambassador. But Lafayette very, very, very quickly befriended George Washington. He had an earnestness to him and a desire to serve and a humility that was not true of most of the French young men that were coming over. So George Washington allowed him to have a battalion, and he very quickly shined in battle. So from there, he kind of went back to France, drummed up some support, and got France to declare war on England. And if any of you history buffs out there, you will know the only reason we won the Revolutionary War is because of French involvement. So you could say the Marquis de Lafayette inadvertently, was responsible for the fact that we are the United States today, which is really cool. Wow. So a few years later, as an older man, he was asked to come back to the United States because there had been this really contentious presidential election followed by national outcry, and the people in America needed to be reminded of why they wanted to form the United States in the first place. He was the only surviving general of the Revolutionary War at that point in 1825, so he was asked by then President, I believe it was John Quincy Adams, to basically go around and let people meet and greet him and drum up some support and to remind the people about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and those sorts of ideals. And his second stop along the way was where?
That was going to be my question. How did he get to Natchez?
Yes, so he started up the Mississippi River from New Orleans, and Natchez was one of the stops along the way. So he actually stopped in Natchez in 1825, actually in April, but the exact date that he was here is like Good Friday. It's Holy Week that week. Okay. So we got as close as we could to that date that we could by putting it on this last weekend in March. But we are going to do a whole reenactment of Lafayette disembarking from the ship. Coming up, we'll toast to Lafayette, and then that night we're going to do a general's banquet with period music and dance. So it's going to be really cool.
I joked with Mr. Melton, and I said, well, if he gets off at the under the hill, there will already be people down there drinking. So they have a built-in crowd.
They'll be
already.
like, yeah, Lafayette.
They may not even know what they're doing, but it'll be built in.
We've had jokes because he's going to come in on the horse-drawn carriage, and it was like, well, when he gets off the ship, should we put him on the carriage? I don't think the poor horses can make it up under the hill. So we decided we're going to drive him up on a golf cart and let him get on the horse-drawn carriage after he's no longer under the hill.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the event itself.
Yeah, so the event is going to be 2.5 days of combined expert lectures that are near and dear to the heart of the NLCC, combined with these interactive learning experiences as sponsored by the Sons of the American Revolution. So we will have several Lafayette scholars who are coming into town for the Natchez Literary and Cinema Celebration. Those include Dr. Robert Rhodes Kraut, who worked on the Lafayette Letters Project for 10 years. He traveled around both France and the United States, gathering all of Lafayette's personal and professional correspondence and compiling it so that scholars could look back at Lafayette's letters and draw their own conclusions as to the kind of person that he was. So he's kind of our big name expert. One of our other experts is Julian Ishay. He is the founder and president of the Lafayette Trails Incorporated, which is a organization devoted to basically teaching the American people how important Lafayette is in our history. And he is French, and he's going to be one of our reenactors as well. He's too young to be Lafayette, so he's going to be Lafayette's younger secretary, Levasseur. Okay.
And so this starts on Thursday.
Yep, we will start with some expert lectures in the Convention Center with Natchez favorite Jim Wiggins and Brother Rogers with the Mississippi Department of Archives and Humanities. And then we will move to a documentary that night, Lafayette the Lost Hero, which Dr. Kraut actually appears in that documentary. We'll do 2 showings of that both that evening and the next morning.
Okay.
What is really exciting, though, is that on Thursday and Friday, and this isn't on the schedule that you're looking at, we are doing a living history educational encampment on the grounds of Rosalie, where the balloon races normally take place. And we are bringing in hopefully several hundred school children from area schools to go through 6 educational stations where they're going to learn about what life was like during revolutionary times. And it's going to be such things as rope making and flint knapping, which I learned flint knapping is when you make the flint that you then use to start fires. I've learned all of these things.
Wow.
So there's going to be tomahawk throwing, which God bless
can
those
adults
people.
come too? I kind of want to come hang out
right?
at this.
So that's perfect that you say that, because we're going to do that in the morning, but in the afternoon after lunch, it's going to be open to the public. So the Living History Village. So you can bring yourself, your kids, anyone who wants to come and go through these stations. And, you know, God bless the people that are doing tomahawk throwing, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm such a nerd at this type of stuff too, so I'll be there myself. I'm not bringing any kids.
Yeah, my husband's a big history buff. He's excited to bring our 6-year-old, which I don't want her throwing tomahawks, but we'll see. So on that Thursday, it starts with registration, some learning lectures, and it ends with the screening. Yep.
And then Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, again, you got registration.
Friday morning.
Friday morning, yes, the 28th. And we'll put all this on the screen too. But Friday morning, we do registration, and then you want to walk me through Friday, what happens there? Yeah,
so on Friday, again, we'll have the Living History Educational Encampment in the morning, Living History Village in the afternoon, happening at Rosalie. Meanwhile, at the Convention Center, we're going to have several expert lectures by some different people. I've already discussed with you Dr. Kraut. Dr. Kraut will actually be offering a lunch lecture as well, if you would like to buy tickets for that. Rolling River Reloaded is going to provide us with the food for that, so I think it's going to be delicious and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then he'll take us on a deeper dive after lunch. Following that will be Dr. June Burden, and she is one of the foremost experts on Lafayette's wife. Adrienne de Noe is her name. And she actually had a lot of different health issues. She was an invalid, things like that. And this is going to be a discussion on women's health and what women's health looked like in the 18th century and what that can mean for us today. So I'm very excited. She's going to be really, really, really fantastic.
Okay. Then there's a book signing.
Yes, we'll have book signings. We have a handful of authors, of course, that will be doing presentations, but we are going to have more authors who are going to be present for the event itself. They're not necessarily doing presentations, but they're still going to be there to sign their books. All of them have period books about Mississippi during this time, America during this time, anything that you can think of. So it's going to be really cool. Okay. That night, I almost misspoke. We have an event that's going to be at Gloucester. The name of that is Sweet Tea and Lemonade. And that's going to be a really big deal. So we're going to bus people from the convention center to Gloucester. To Gloucester. Once we get there, there's going to be a fife and drum procession out to a grave marking ceremony for Territorial Governor Winthrop Sargent, who was alive during this time period.
Okay.
So they'll do the grave marking. That's a Sons of the American Revolution typical thing that they do. But then we'll go back to Gloucester. We'll have sweet tea, lemonade, pralines, and the Walters who own the home are going to give a sneak peek of the home and the surrounding grounds. So that's going to be a really cool event. Cost us $25. Okay. It's going to be fantastic.
And then it looks like something else right after that.
Right after that, we have a very tight window right there. So right after that, we have a welcome reception. It's going to be on the east lawn of Rosalie, which is opposite where the balloon races happen on the other side of Rosalie. And that is going to be a buffet dinner provided by Yolanda Morgan. There's going to be music by Cha Cha Boo. Okay. That's going to be a really nice event. And I checked the weather. Looks like it's going to be beautiful that weekend. So if you can just imagine getting a nice dinner on the grounds of Rosalie while listening to music. There will be a cash bar. It's going to be really, really nice.
Yeah, and that's only $30. That's not a bad deal at all.
Yeah, that's only $30.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, yeah.
And Yolanda throws down. I can vouch for that.
She truly does. She truly does.
She
Yolanda
does.
is actually catering most of our events.
Okay,
So
yeah.
Rolling River is doing Dr. Kraut's lecture on Friday, and the rest is Yolanda.
Look, our girl Robbie across the street, she throws down as well. They both do. So it'll be good food, I can tell you that. So that leads us into to Saturday.
Yeah, so Saturday is going to be the big reenactment day. It's going to begin with Lafayette coming off the American Cruise Line Splendor, just as he would have done 200 years ago, processing up from under the hill to the grounds of Rosalie, where there will be a military, a military review. That's what it's called. Again, that's the Sons of the American Revolution sort of thing. And the Fife and Drum Corps will then do a procession to the gazebo, where there will be a ceremony to welcome Lafayette. Rusty Jenkins will be our master of ceremonies for that, which everybody loves Rusty.
He's always entertaining, that's right.
He's always entertaining. From there, we will process back to the convention center, which is actually on the site of the historic Steamboat Hotel, which is where Lafayette stayed when he was here. So it's kind of a whole total picture of what it really would have been like in 1825 to be here, to be on the bluff and to see Lafayette's ship coming in. There will be cannon salutes and gun salutes and things like that. So that will be happening, so nobody call the police and be like, hey, what's going on?
There's a cannon fight down on Main Street.
Yes, we've been told by, Dr. Neetha Hardy, she's like, we need to make sure people know this is happening so that the mayor doesn't get 100 calls that day.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yep.
Yeah.
And after that, we will have another lunch lecture, which will be about the young Lafayette. That's provided by a SAR member, Jack McGee Smith. And then that night, we are going to have a general's banquet, which will have period music and dance, not period dress, but it is cocktail attire, and that is going to be a really nice plated dinner, dress fancy. It's going to be a really nice night. If you would like dance lessons, though, just in case, so that you can do the period dance, those are going to be at the convention center at 1 o'clock on the second floor.
1 o'clock, okay. So you guys really do have a full weekend, I could tell.
We have a very full weekend. I didn't even go through all the lectures with you. There's plenty more lectures, plenty more speakers in the midst of that. Lots going on at Rosalie. Thankful to the Daughters of the American Revolution who donated the grounds for us. Thankful to the American Cruise Line for donating a room for Lafayette and Levasseur. And we're very thankful, of course, to the City of Natchez always for their in-kind donations. And Gloucester as well. Gloucester also donated their time.
How can people find you guys, and how can people purchase tickets and all of that?
Yes, so the best way to do that is to go to colin.edu/community/Natchez-literary-cinema-celebration.
Dustin, can we put that on the screen for
Can we put that on the screen?
Yeah, we could do that.
I was actually talking to Malcolm Ennis with WTYJ, and he was like, that is a very long, that's a very long thing for people to remember. But yes, please go to our website, please register, and please purchase some more tickets for some events. It's really going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal event.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you came by and shared that with us, because I could tell that, like I said, Mr. Melton's a neighbor of mine too, and I could tell how excited he was about it. He was kind of lit up telling me about it, and he was like, Ronnie, please reach out to her. We want to get the word out, because this is such an amazing event. We want as many people to know as possible. And, we appreciate you taking some time. We know that you're busy, but when I reached out, you were like, yeah, let's do it. So thank you for, I know you
Absolutely.
probably spoke to 100 people about it, but thanks for letting us be a small part of helping get the word out for you.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for advertising the event. Like I said, it's going to be great fun for the whole family, and we would love for all of Natchez to be there. The powwow is also happening at the same time, as is the Makers Market, as is the Farmers Market. So come down to the bluff, and you will be able to get everything that you can imagine.
That will be a very busy weekend, yeah. A lot of weekends in Natchez get like that this time of the year.
They do. This time of year, the azaleas are blooming, and the weather is nice, and it's just that time.
Everybody's itching to get back outside.
Yep.
Get a little vitamin D. So, but yeah, well, thank you. And we also want to thank Co-Lin just for everything that Co-Lin does in this community.
Yes.
We're very lucky and very blessed to have Co-Lin in this area. And as a former teacher, so many of my former students are at Co-Lin now, and they'll come up and say, Mr. Ronnie, I'm at Co-Lin, and I'm being smart about it. I didn't go off, and I'm saving my money, and I'm starting here and this and that. So we always try to encourage as many people to utilize Co-Lin because it's a great place.
Yes. I actually teach adjunct in the nursing department as well. So I really enjoy the students. I really enjoy being there. It is a great place to be, a very vital part of this community for sure.
That's right. And like they say, start here, go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for coming in again. And just, you guys reach out to Co-Lin or Brittany, but we'll put the text on the screen as far as where to get the tickets and everything. And I'll see you guys there.
Yep.
And I hope to see some of you guys there.
Get your tickets.
That's right. And I hope to see some of you guys there. And just thank you to all of our awesome partners who help us get the word out for events like this, to do these community spotlights. God bless everybody out there. And as always, have a champion day.
Thank you.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff.
Where everyone is family.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We're out at our awesome partners, Gregg Veterinary Clinic, and we are in the back in the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. I'm standing in the Magnolia Bell Suite, which is one of 5 elite boarding suites available to your 4-legged furry friends when you travel this summer. Each suite comes with a private bed, flat screen TV, 24/7 video monitoring, and a sliding door so your pet feels like they're home. They provide one-on-one walking and activities in a fenced-in private backyard. So call Gregg Vet Hospital today and request your pet suite at the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. They'll leave the light on for you. Call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today.
Hey y'all, it's Ronnie and Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
And we want to tell you about our awesome partner, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chicks.
Hicks Chicks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know that they are also open to the public?
Hicks Chicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish.
And don't forget about their delicious burgers that are already pattied up for you, and their amazing dessert options.
So stop by today at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Road in Natchez. Hicks Chicks.
Way more than just chicken.